All right, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, வணக்கம் என் உயிரினும் மேலான இனிய தமிழ் மக்களே எப்படி இருக்கீங்க? This is your host Venki with another episode of Southern Spice USA, and wherever you're watching it from, whether you're in the East Coast, you're in Central Time, you're in Mountain Time, Pacific Time, or you're in Europe or India, good whatever time of the day it is, and welcome to this interesting episode, Mindful with Diya. So, what are we going to do here in the series of my conversations with high school kids? This is yet another very promising and interesting high schooler that I'm going to speak with today. Her name is Diya Patel. And without further ado, I'm going to bring Diya onto the screen and we're going to talk about what she's passionate about and what she's doing. So here we go. Hi, Diya. Welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
Terrific. So, where are you currently located?
I'm in Apex, North Carolina.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so yeah, let's start with a quick introduction. Tell us about yourself. What sparked your interest in mental health and mindfulness?
Yeah, so I'm Diya, as you mentioned, a senior at Thales Academy High School in Apex, North Carolina. I'm really passionate about all things mental health, like advocating for teen and senior mental health, and also just bridging health equity in mental health, specifically with language barriers. And that's why I also serve as a medical Spanish interpreter at a free clinic about an hour away from my home, where I interpret for various underserved communities and Spanish-speaking patients.
Wonderful. So, what triggered it? Was there a personal experience or a moment in your life that kind of inspired you to launch Mindful with Diya? And as a follow-up, I think I want to check with you. Why do you believe mental health preservation is especially important for teens and kind of young people today?
Yeah, so I think the starting point for me to launch this whole Mindful Diya initiative was when I was volunteering at a hospital once and I met a patient who was 100 years old, and we were just having a conversation, and she said how the biggest advice she would tell me is to preserve my mental health and encourage others to do so as well. So I think that kind of led me to start brainstorming initiatives. And then I started seeing a bunch of my friends, especially one of my really close friends, get severely affected by a mental health condition. And she had to miss a lot of school. Her enrollment was put in jeopardy. So because of all that, I decided that I had to do something. And also I realized that a lot of teens these days, they're so bogged down in a fast-paced life where there's so much work to do. And I thought it's just important to take a breath and preserve your mental health. So that's when I got certified as a meditation instructor, and then everything just went from there.
Wow, that's really cool. So you also worked as a medical interpreter, right?
Yeah.
So share at least one of your most meaningful or memorable experience in that space.
Yeah, so one of my most meaningful experiences as an interpreter was when I was able to marry this interest of like mental health for me and use my Spanish skills. So this was once when my supervisor came up to me and she was like, "Why don't you interpret for several behavioral health patients?" So that's when I was elated to know that I not only was able to practice these mental health initiatives, but also I was able to help them patients using Spanish. So that supervisor, she kind of interviewed me kind of informally about my experiences with mental health, and I told her how I practice box breathing and encouraged my students to do so as well. And it kind of worked out because the therapist wanted the patient to do some box breathing. And that's when she actually wanted me to lead it in Spanish. So I was like, inhala por 4 segundos. And I was just leading the entire box breathing exercise in Spanish to the patient. So I really felt connected. And that was an experience that I was just ranting about to everyone I knew pretty much.
Well, what is box breathing? Can you just do it in short?
Yeah, so box breathing is when you inhale for 4 seconds and you hold for 4 seconds and then you exhale 4 seconds and then you maintain for 4 seconds. So It's basically completing a box. And there's a lot of variations, but that's something I include in a lot of my Zen Zone sessions.
Nice. So you said interpreting for mental health patients is an area of interest. Why does that specifically give you joy?
Yeah, so being an interpreter just gives me the sense of like deep satisfaction. I don't even know how to word it. It's like I'm able to help the patient who just looks desperately at me to translate what the physician just said. Specifically, when I translated for a patient once who was getting a sty in their eye like drained out with a needle, I was able to kind of offer some comfort in Spanish, and I was so grateful for the opportunity to provide the patient with a sense of hope that there's someone who can actually bridge that gap between the patient and the doctor and help them overcome their language barriers in accessing healthcare. And overall, I was just so elated to, have this opportunity to apply my Spanish skills while also helping patients and promoting mental health and mindfulness.
That's very cool. That's very cool. So, what are some of the key events and activities that you've led through your initiative to promote mental wellness, health equity, and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so starting with, I run weekly Zen Zone sessions. Every week, they're about 15 to 30 minutes long. And those are pretty much small teen group sessions for people in my community. I also have some people joining from outside of NC and some people from different parts of NC where they can't really come to my home. So instead, I also have a virtual Zoom batch too, so I kind of do them simultaneously. But those are Zen Zone sessions. I also ran an American Red Cross virtual National Stress Awareness Month campaign. So during that time and during the campaign, I was able to encourage about 300 people to take a mindful minute through a widespread campaign email. And I was also able to invite a bunch of them to attend a lot of sessions for meditation where I lead them during Saturdays. And then adding to that, I also did sessions in 2 senior living centers, which are Cambridge Village of Apex and Reserve at Mills Farm. And then also I make YouTube videos as a content creator about mindfulness and mental health awareness. And recently that hit 10K views. So I'm really happy that I was able to target another sector for mental health awareness, and also National Student Speakers Association. I'm presidential board chairman of that, so I was able to expand a lot of mental health initiatives and kind of help more people know about what this is all about. And then in governor's school, where I was for 4 weeks, I recently came back, but during that time, I led Mindful Mondays, which were small teen group sessions for mindfulness.
That's a lot for a high schooler. What are you, 9th grade, 10th grade?
I'm in 12th grade now.
12th? Okay, fantastic. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of things you're doing, Diya. So in your Zen Zone sessions, what kind of mindfulness or breathing techniques that you teach your participants?
Yeah, so I start off with the body scan, which relaxes all your parts of your body. And then I also do some box breathing, which I already told you about. And then I do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding, which is where you identify 5 things you see, 4 things you can touch, 3 you hear, and 2 you smell, and then 1 you taste. And this kind of just relieves anxiety overall. So that's a really good method I've seen help a lot of people. And then alternate nostril breathing techniques, and then of course relaxing music, where I actually utilize my vocal talents to sing a piece where it's like meditative songs and things like that. And then I also play a flute music video, but I like to apply my music therapy skills to help people as well.
Ooh. So you also sing?
Yes, I also sing a small 2-minute excerpt.
Okay,
yeah.
Very cool. So you've come across different types of participants, different types of age group of people, different nationalities. So is there any standout moment, right, from your interaction with these kind of different people that may have had some sort of impact on you?
Yeah, so actually there are quite a few that I've reflected upon myself. One of them was when after the Zen Zone session, one of the parents actually hopped on and unmuted and said how she was so happy that her kid was actually doing meditation, even though in the past she tried with her kid and her kid didn't like it. But she said that I made it really engaging and her kid wanted to come back and do it with me. So she was just really happy about that. And she was like, wait, you're only 17. I don't think I could have done that my age, but I was like, I'm sure you could have. But it was just a really satisfying experience to know that it was really helping some of the teens out there. And then also in the senior living sessions, I unknowingly met my teacher's grandmother, who I did the meditation to, as she was one of the participants who came to my event. And I was just like so elated that it was one person who I knew without actually knowing them before. So I just realized at that point that I'm not just helping some random individual, I'm actually helping someone's sister, someone's brother, someone's mother, father, grandmother, daughter, grandfather. Like I'm helping these are loved people by someone. So like I am actually, even if I'm not helping them directly, I'm helping them through other people. So and then another instance was when everybody from both the sessions, I noticed a commonality between the 2 senior living sessions I did, and they both asked me like, when are you going to come back next? So I was just like, that's interesting, because that was one of the Q&A sessions. Like in the Q&A session after the meditation session, someone asked from both the sessions that same question, when are you coming back? So I just found that really interesting too.
How long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this since, I would say, January of this year, but mental health for me, I kind of started since I was in like 10th grade. I think I started running some initiatives, but full on, I got into it about January of this year.
Okay. So obviously, while doing all of this, you must have also personally learned something and gained something out of this whole exercise, mindful with Diya. So how has this changed you over the last several months?
Yeah, I actually had a lot of learnings. Let's see. First of all, I kind of learned that even small things can have huge impacts in people's lives. And I feel like it just started with such a small teen meditation session. And I was like trying and trying and trying to get more and more people to engage and join these sessions. And I feel like it just slowly expanded to even like a statewide Red Cross initiative. So I feel like I just learned to be patient throughout the process, and even the small things count. And ultimately, I learned that true joy comes from helping others through our own talents and strengths, like utilizing my singing talent, Spanish skills, communication, projection, and patience skills to really contribute as an active member of society. And at NC Governor School, I won the values auction for altruism, but now only I'm kind of realizing why. Like it genuinely, it's who I am. But I feel like after all these experiences and what people have told me, I've kind of realized that, yeah, I don't really need something in return. Like it's just kind of my nature. But overall, I think I just learned all of these lessons, and it's just been an amazing journey so far.
Beautiful. That's so terrific, Diya. So these experiences might have had other impacts as well, right? So has it changed your outlook on medicine and what your future career should be, and so on and so forth?
Yeah, so I realized how powerful these like small acts can have on seniors and teen health. And I'm just like, now I'm more motivated to diagnose patients and incorporate my mental health strategies to better the lives of others as an aspiring physician. And I realized that like any age can benefit from this. It's not just teens. But also, I feel like I realized that true healing extends far beyond just the physical aspects of the body. I witnessed firsthand how a patient's emotional and psychological well-being can actually profoundly impact their physical health. So I guess I gained more of like a holistic approach to healthcare that I want to pursue. And just like how mindfulness is all about focusing on yourself, I want to make the patient feel heard by listening to their own story. Just as Dr. Lisa Sanders stated in her book, Every Patient Tells a Story, she's all about like patient diagnoses like get missed a lot of times because they don't reveal their story, because the doctor doesn't really want to give them the means to do so. Like they're asking more interrogative format rather than being like, okay, tell me what's going on. So I feel like I want to preserve that kind of environment that Dr. Sanders articulated in her book, where I give the patient the opportunity to actually let me know what's going on. And overall, I feel like this just solidified my commitment to patient-centered care, just like how leading meditation sessions requires like empathy, active listening, and a genuine desire to just help others. I feel like I can apply this to being a physician as well, where it's all about fostering open communication, ensuring patients feel heard, respected, and also just like actively involved in their own healing journey. And at the end of the day, I think it's just so important to realize that medicine is all about treating humans, like treating actual human beings, not just treating like conglomerations of diseases. So I feel like understanding a patient's anxiety, stress, where they're coming from, I feel like this is all just so important overall in my future outlook of medicine.
Brilliant, brilliant. So I have just two more questions for you, Diya. One is, what are the upcoming projects for mindful with Diya, right? Are there any future plans? Because you are in 12th grade, you're going to go into college, so that is one part of my question. And in closing, I'd like to ask you if you have any message for other teens, right, or aspiring change makers out there. And I know there are so many out there in different states and different cities, different schools. So yeah, these are my two final questions for you.
Okay, awesome. So to answer the first part of the question, my future events, I would say I'm definitely going to continue Zen Zone sessions, probably not just stopping at before I get into college, but I think I'm actually going to continue them in college, and hopefully whichever college I do go to, I hope to actually explore something similar at the university campus. So I hope to just like keep that going pretty much my entire life as long as I'm able to do so. And then I'm definitely going to be more of a content creator on YouTube, publish a lot more videos out there to help more people see, people who are more involved with the phones and just social media in general. And then I feel like I'm definitely going to do more senior living sessions because they definitely did want me back. So I do want to answer to their hopes and help them out there. And then also in December, I'm going to do this Red Cross Mental Health Day event where we can have more initiatives and hopefully target a broader audience as well. And then for the second part of the makers in the making, I would say genuinely, if you set your heart on making a difference in the world, I think it's just certain that change will happen and that your dedication will automatically follow. I think the first step is finding something that you're truly passionate about, because I feel like even in choosing extracurricular activities, you always want to choose activities that speak to who you are and not just like looks good on a college application. And like even when I did my first Zen Zone sessions, it was not to just check a box or impress someone. I feel like it was just so natural to me and what I was hearing about this whole gap in mental health access. And I feel like please just leverage your skills to benefit others and help the community. Like for instance, when I first went out to volunteer in the hospitals in 9th grade, I saw some people playing the piano for patients. And I thought, oh, well, I don't really play the piano that well. Like I play violin, but I don't really play the piano. But then I realized, well, I've been singing since I was 3 years old. And I'm really passionate about singing too. So I thought, why don't I use that skill? So I feel like a lot of times it's just so important to pick something that you are good at and leverage those skills to actually contribute to society in a meaningful way. And of course, do something that actually speaks to who you are and you're passionate about, and not just something that looks good.
Profound. That's brilliant, Diya. I think you're doing a phenomenal job. Keep it going. Never ever stop it. Continue doing whatever you're doing and inspire more kids of your age and adults as well. Thank you so much for taking your time to come on Southern Spice today and talk about mindful with Diya, and keep us updated on your progress.
All right. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed this. Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, so that was Diya Patel from North Carolina, and this program is Southern Spice. It's coming live on Radio Zindagi, 1310 AM in Parsippany, New Jersey, 96.7 FM in Edison, New Jersey, 540 AM in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and it's also on Southern Spice USA Facebook and YouTube channels. And I'm thinking it'll also be on the Gifted Gabber channel. So Thank you so much for watching. I'll come back to you with another interesting episode with another change maker, yet another high schooler. Till then, take care, be well, see you soon.